They don't only use money to politicians, but also to people from different other fraternities, the religious leaders, the cultural leaders, everywhere. Now, the third one is control of information. How many times have you seen them failing us from talking to the people? All that is done aiming at controlling information. The introduction of silly laws that are aiming at controlling information. For example, the Public Order Management Act, where it stated that whenever you are to discuss about politics, when you are in a number of more than 3, you must seek for permission from the IGP. The question is, how many IGPs do we have in the country? 1. Seated where? Kampala, Naguru. So, even someone from Kasese, if he is to hold a debate about politics, he has to drive, come to Naguru and seek for permission from the IGP. So, eventually, what does that do? Fading that sharing of information. You know, the introduction of acts like that which brought in OTT introduction, the Computer Misuse Act, all those are aiming at controlling what? Information. How many times have you seen politicians being failed from speaking from different media houses? Others have been picked from the media houses themselves. So all that aiming at controlling information. Why controlling information? The more you control information, you control the spread of knowledge. The more you control the spread of knowledge, you instill ignorance. And the ignorant people are easily led. For the time. Then the last one is propaganding aiming at divide and rule. The so talks. The other NUP is a branch of NRM. So the FDCs should not trust the NUP. That only divides, it creates a gap between NUP and the FDC. So what happens to the NUP, the FDCs will not mind much. After all, they are the same. So the next day, they will say FDC is the same as the NRM. We are such people. The greedy ones, the masqueraders. One of his own, the great friend who knew most of his secrets, Akampore, the former president of Burkina Faso, he's the one who was used to murder that great revolutionaries. So, in life, there is no way you can avoid those people, the masqueraders. You believe in Jesus. Yeah. Jesus himself. Go and read the scripts. Go read the books. Around him were the masqueraders. Were the traitors. Should we say that Christianity now should be abandoned or abolished because in the books we find some masqueraders? They might believe in Muhammad sallallahu alaihi wasallam. Then number 2, use of money. To do what? Buying from the people that are criticizing now to the other side. Those buyings do weaken the side where they have bought from. The for example, politics, tell me how many people were like brought down by the crossing of Wechitiibwa Sebugwawo. Who expected such a person at her age with with her political background, a person from from a respected family, a person who had served in the offices of the Kabaka. Very few could expect such a person to cross, but they use the money to persuade her, and eventually she does. So they use money. They have bought people like Bet Kamya, the likes of Anita Among, for example. Yes. She was once FDC, her deputy Tayebwa, and so many others. So the use of money is used by dictatorship to entrench, to extend its leadership on the people. They don't only use money to politicians, but also to people from different other fraternities, the religious leaders, the cultural leaders, everywhere. Now, The third one is control of information. How many times have you seen them failing us from talking to the people? All of that is done aiming at controlling information. The introduction of silly laws that are aiming at controlling information. For example, the Public Order Management Act, where it stated that whenever you are to discuss about politics, when you are in a number of more than 3, you must seek for permission from the IGP. The question is, how many IGPs do we have in the country? 1. Seated where? Kampala and Aguru. So, even someone from Kasese, if he is to hold a debate about politics, he has to drive, come to Naguru and seek for permission from the IGP. So, what eventually, what does that do? Fading that sharing of information. You know, the introduction of acts like that which brought in OTT introduction, the Computer Misuse Act, all those are aiming at controlling what? Information. How many times have you seen politicians being failed from speaking from different media houses? Others have been picked from the media houses themselves. So all that aiming at controlling information. Why controlling information? The more you control information, you control the spread of knowledge. The more you control the spread of knowledge, you instill ignorance. And the ignorant people are easily led.
For the time.
Then the last one is propaganding aiming at divide and rule. The SOTOX, the other NUP, is a branch of NRM. So the FDCs should not trust the NUP. That only divides, it creates a gap between NUP and the FDC. So what happens to the NUP, the FDCs will not mind much. After all, they are the same. So the next day, they will say FDC is the same as the NRM.
Uganda Eyenkya.
All right, ladies and gentlemen, it is a good afternoon, good evening, good morning, wherever you'll be catching this program from. It is a new week, of course, second last week of January 2023. We are going to use English the entire week of, my God, the third week of January. Blame it on the bet I placed on my social media handles, Facebook, Twitter, Instagram, and everywhere, those who follow me. I thought it was a joke. After smashing Man City, I was like, no, we can dismantle Arsenal confidently and convincingly. Little did I know that the outcome might, of course, go the other way. It might go in London, actually. So I actually posted on my Facebook, if Arsenal beats Manchester United today, and in brackets I was like, by mistake, of course, I will present all my shows for this week on Uganda Eyenkya in English, mark this post with love and care. And most of them marked it with love and care on my Facebook page, no, Facebook timeline. Then I went on my Uganda Eyenkya official page. They were like, okay, let's wait for you, keep rehearsing. So here we are, the first man on the bench to speak thoroughly English, no Luganda today, the local dialect. Blame it on the bet. But well, a promise is a debt, so I had to fulfill it. And throughout this week, we are doing that. I guess I will next time learn a lesson not to pass things out of excitement. Wembo Habib is a former FDC member. Yeah, he has been a stronghold in that party for many years. It has been a party, a darling to him, and he has been a darling to the FDC. He has held several positions, in the FDC. Right now he speaks National Unity Platform, despite the fact that many times we've heard him, I've hosted him, castigating NUP for failing to deliver to the expectations of Ugandans, yeah? Both in Parliament and even other positions. So right now, a few moments back, that was last week actually, he defected, he actually went to NUP willingly, and he has some reasons to that. So He's the first one on the bench. I guess you will rate where actually my parents paid fees to make this happen. Surprisingly, the man on camera is a Manchester United fan. Secondly, surprisingly, not by coincidence as well, the man seated next to me, he's putting on a red beret. He's a Manchester United fan. So we are all here seated, still weeping, and yeah, we need at least some people to give us more handkerchiefs to at least console ourselves. So, Honorable Wembo, you're the first person on bench. How are you doing today?
I'm doing well. I'm so pleased that I'm the first person now sitting on your hot seat.
Not speaking Uganda.
Paying for your maybe. May I call it a mistake?
Not a mistake, actually. It's beyond a mistake.
Yes, most of Ugandans find it hard speaking English.
Yeah, very
Reasons are so clear. Most of us have gone through average schools.
Absolutely right.
So by going through average schools, we find ourselves in a twist when it comes to delivering in English. But here you have a man who fear less. And I will surprise you and your viewers.
So we are together paying a cost for supporting a team that...
But of course, I can never regret for supporting Manchester United. And it is not by coincidence that we are three here and we are all Manchester fans.
It would have been different. The man on camera being an Arsenal fan.
But Manchester has worked for it. It hasn't been just by mistake that we all support Manchester United.
Absolutely right.
Yes, it has worked for it. What trophy that Manchester hasn't won? None. It has won it all.
We've literally won everything.
Yes, so by attracting fans from every corner, that is it.
Our neighbors are making a lot of noise everywhere in town.
If you ask them, since when have they ever won a trophy? Also a Premier League trophy.
It's been
most
long,
of them that happened when they were not yet Arsenal fans or supporters. So, but when they make noise, you give them space and you allow them room to to enjoy with their excitement.
So ladies and gentlemen, throughout this week, as I promised, it's English. All the guests on the hot seat shall be speaking or shall be prompted to use English. Blame it on my bet. So next time I will do better. I will first make sure that how is the lineup, how is everything. Make sure that
next time never risk to bet your wife. You may make a huge mistake and you say, if we lose, my wife, I'll donate my wife.
By now I would be a single man. Anyways, away from sports, that's just actually some of the right moments of the show. Away from politics, Buwembo.
Yes.
You've been an FDC member, an ardent actually, a darling to the FDC, a darling of many people actually. To be objective, you've been a darling of FDC. You're now speaking National Unity Platform. Why? Why now?
The viewers must know that change is part of life.
Okay.
Yeah, change is part of life, and every day we experience changes. Buwemba Habib has been well known to be FDC.
Yes.
And my name almost was tagged to FDC.
For many years.
Even where I could appear not representing FDC, they could introduce me as Buwemba Habib, the FDC leader. You know, I've been practicing or doing activism from different platforms. Say the platform of social justice centers, platform of the Jobless Brotherhood, platform of Human Rights Defenders Union, and so many others. But wherever I could speak, most of the journalists had to address me as the FDC
That was a signature.
leader.
That became a signature to you.
Yes. I'm so proud to find that I've at least contributed to the development of FDC for the
So you
last
don't regret being in
10
FDC?
plus years, because officially I joined the FDC in 2011.
Oh, 2011.
Yes,
okay.
during that time of work, I was so much inspired by the person of Dr. Besigye,
Okay.
his resilience, his assertiveness, and his determination to liberate the freedoms and rights of Ugandans.
Yeah.
And I was like, I must work with this gentleman. That's how I was attracted to join FDC. Since then, I've gone through a lot. I've done a lot to ensure that at least I also make a plus on the development of FDC.
Yeah.
More people have seen me being arrested. They have seen me being presented to courts, all in the name of struggling to achieve the values that FDC stands for. Yeah.
So you don't regret being a member of FDC for all that period?
I don't do regret. FDC has also contributed in my developing my political career.
Yes.
And my of course the skills in struggling in this struggle for fighting for the freedoms and the liberations of rights of Ugandans.
Okay.
So I do salute FDC as a house, as a family that has contributed a lot in my life.
What went wrong? Why did you defect from the FDC to the national unity platform? There could be something wrong.
Of course, life, wherever it is, it has come with challenges.
Yeah.
Wherever you go, there are challenges.
I understand, yeah.
Like as we meet challenges in our families, in our workplaces, even on the road, we meet challenges. Even in FDC, there are challenges. But what is most important is putting a mechanism in place to how to manage challenges when they face you or they face a team or a family. So in the FDC, I've faced a number of challenges. Some are institutional, others are personal. But what I did was to pick a pen and a paper on 27th of December 2022,
yes,
and put every challenge that I have met in FDC on the paper and addressed the letter, which was a 4-page letter, to the president of FDC. So my prayer is that I keep issues to do with challenges of FDC to the leadership of FDC, so that they can be handled internally to avoid further resignations and the quitting of other members.
Did Engineer Patrick Oboya Muriat respond to you to that?
By the time I lodged in my resignation letter, he had not yet responded. And my prayer is that he shouldn't ignore those reasons, the reasons and the points and challenges that I penned down. Because if he ignores them, then it will be so absurd to the political party called FDC. That is after maybe seeing more other people defecting or quitting. I wouldn't love to see that.
I understand that some of the reasons, even though you don't want to mention them, but part of my investigations I did, you of course alleged that there was some of the top leadership in the Forum for Democratic Change, including the Secretary General, they are part of the problem, part of the lot why FDC is not triumphing. That's part of,
you know, I wouldn't want to dig into the problems that caused my defection, because the reason is simple. As I've said, for the last 10 plus years, I've been working so hard to the development of the party. I wouldn't want to be seen to be part of the people who are distracting the party that we've built for so many years. So that's why I love so much to leave reasons to be managed internally
But your
within the
defection
party.
alone has caused destruction. Many questions are still lingering. Part of the darlings of FDC, Wemba Bib, has been part of the list. Your defection only has distracted, even though you don't come out to name the reasons, the defection only, it's enough to distract the party.
My defection, I think in a democratic environment, in a party of Forum for Democratic Change, it is a reflection of civility. Why? We've witnessed a number of defections from different political parties, be it FDC, be it DP,
Yes.
UPC, so many. But tell me, just cite for me one defection of a leader where a communication had to be made, where a leader had to resign first, both his position in the party and his membership from the party. You will find that it is only Habib who has done that. So that level of civility must also be appreciated and learned from. For example, you remember Wechitiibwa Joyce Nabosa Sebugwa was
Yes.
our deputy president,
Yes.
Uganda region.
Uganda region, yes.
Yeah. How did we learn about her defection? By reading from the newspaper that she has joined the Museveni's cabinet. So, which hasn't been the case to me. Look at a person like Norbert Mao, the president of DP, or a former. he joined the ruling party, and joining its leadership, the cabinet. He's the minister for constitution and justice. But he moved in still as the president of DP. So Habib never joined the NUP as a NEC member to FDC. I had to resign my position for national secretary forever, which makes me NEC member, and also resigning my membership. So by the time I joined the NUP, I wasn't FDC. I was Wemba Habib. And in fact, I've seen a number of debates posing how could NUP now recruit from its fellow opposition party. That is a lie. NUP fetched Buwembo as Buwembo, not as an FDC. Buwembo as Buwembo, not as a NEC member to FDC.
To supplement on that,
that should be a lesson to so many others. And the question was, already there are cracks which have been created within FDC because of my defection. To me, I think this should be looked at as a development done by the FDC. FDC has trained people who have the severity of that level, and the FDC has always been so clear when it comes to defections and people joining it. In its principles, it has a free entry and a free exit.
Yeah,
so
absolutely.
FDC is not a prison, in other words, that once you enter, you have no right to go. So that any member's defection shouldn't be looked at in a negative way. It should be also looked at in a positive, from the positive side of it.
But as well, the time question, why now? Like, it indeed matters, because you leave FDC at a time where success is not registered. Seriously be told, the FDC, it has been a very strong party, opposition party, but as we speak, a lot is going on inside there, which speaks volumes to why you left at this point of time.
I would love on this show to be so much asked questions in relation with where I've joined, What is it that I'm bringing on board to the Nupu family? How ready am I to face the brutality that fellow comrades in Nupu have been facing? How am I prepared to go by such brutality? And how am I ready to advance the struggle of removing the dictator? Because, you know, now if I so much discuss FDC's business, I'll be like, I'll be impersonating, kind of. Yes, because I'm not the spokesperson of FDC. Okay, before I'm no longer a member of FDC. No, I'm no longer a leader.
So before we discuss what you bring on table
the substantiality of whatever I discuss about to FDC shall be in courts, doubted.
Because before we discuss where you went, what you bring on table, what befalls your future, whatever, we need to discuss thoroughly and understand why you left, because those are many years, 2011, 12, 13, up to today.
Yes.
We ask a lot of questions. Why? Because part of my investigation team, they tell me a lot, part of the top leadership. That's why many people are leaving FDC. There are many people actually suffocating the party. There are many people failing the party. There are many.
All the reasons I penned them down. We never got an. I did not make it public for reasons clear that I preferred much. That I preferred more that these reasons be managed internally within the FDC. But still, if you want to learn about the reasons, you can pay visit to the party president of FDC. I'm at Patrick Oboy. He can maybe...
Did you leave FDC a happy man, Buwembo? Did you leave FDC a happy man?
I've left a life, you know. I'm still living. I'm still capable of doing everything, physically fit, and even with a sounding mind. So I must be happy for that. I must be happy for that. With the leadership, yes, like as you are trying to provoke me speaking about leaders, I had issues, a lot of issues, serious issues with the person of Nathan Nandala Mafabi, the Secretary General of FDC. He might be one reason. Some are not happy, me inclusive, but I don't find it wise enough to now make him a subject. Okay. And but more so when I've already left.
But it's part of the FDC
if you interviewed me before I have left, maybe I would have been able to say something about what are his messages, how is he maybe squeezing and suffocating some leaders in the party. But as of now, I feel like I have no more authority to say anything about FDC. Yes.
I understand that Dr. Kizza Besigye, or my source tells me, one of the founding members called you after the first interview, the first interviews you made after the defection, to say that no, please, at least you can handle the other things, but don't talk much about the FDC, why you left, what and what. Is it true that you received that call and just asking you to leave everything, at least to handle the future? I wanted to get the clarity from you, because my source tells me you got in a call.
How did you get to learn about the resignation of Habib?
I got to learn about it. Actually, you're the second person. When General Mugisha Muntu was leaving FDC, I hosted him while on Delta TV, and I quizzed him so much.
Yes.
That General...
Did you read anywhere General's resignation letter?
Not really.
Have you read my resignation letter?
I have not. But
you have seen it saturating.
Yes,
How comes that the resignation letter is saturating publicly, and the document that obtains the reasons of my resignation isn't in public?
You need to tell me, because...
it was not accidental. I aimed at keeping those reasons internally within FDC and to the leadership of FDC. That FDC use those reasons resourcefully, like to manage and consolidate its membership and attract more others who haven't joined to join it. Because let me tell you one thing. We've gone through schools, different schools, from our primary levels to where we stopped. With the fact that you went through your primary school and you no longer expect or think to go back to be enrolled as a pupil or a student again in that school, I don't think that it can make you wish that school not be existing anymore. If you are going by the location where that school was and you don't see it, I don't think that you can be happy. Likewise, I would love much to see FDC developing every day and night and becoming a bigger and a greater party, achieving its values the way they are stipulated.
Okay,
Yeah.
I understand you have many followers, many supporters in Lubaga South. At least we can, on this show, help them understand, because most of them are still asking themselves, why did our person, because they believe in you, they have actually trusted in you, I think for 3 or 2 terms, just giving you their votes and whatever. I think through this show, you can help them understand, even though you don't mention like so and so, but you can make them understand why you left a party that they dare so much to see that it's changing Uganda. For your supporters.
Buwembo Habib.
Okay, I think let's handle that after the break. Just excuse me. Let's handle that after the break. I just want Buwembo Habib to thoroughly make me understand why he left the Forum for Democratic Change before we even embark onto his future. Why he went to the National Unity Platform, and above all, why NUP amongst all the parties on the block. Let's come back after this short break.
Uganda Eyenkya.
All right, we are back on the show, ladies and gentlemen. I'm still on the bench with Buwembo Habib. He's a newborn baby in the National Unity Platform. Of course, he's I think we can say the newest signing, yeah? I don't know whether a striker or midfielder. I think we shall understand that later on during the show. But I wanted to thoroughly understand. Now this goes to his supporters, yeah? I understand he has been coming or vying for the seat of Lubaga South as the Member of Parliament on many occasions, yeah? I guess 2021, was it the 3rd time? The 3rd time he was coming. But many people, yes, people have been trusting you with a lot of votes, I understand. But I want you to make them understand why you left, because we can't just underestimate that and start discussing NUP today without telling them that my supporters, my followers, this and this, and I feel it's very crucial.
Yeah, those who've been supporting me in Lubaga South and elsewhere across the country, Uganda,
Yes.
have been supporting me as someone who is assertive,
Very good.
someone who is vocal,
Very good.
who is fearless, someone who agitates for the freedoms and the liberations of Ugandans.
Yes.
And the reason why I have crossed from FDC to NUP are clear reasons still to advance the struggle that we've been in for so long time. And if I was asked why NUP, why National Unity Platform, of course I believe almost the same values FDC is agitating for are the same values NUP is agitating for. Respect to the human rights, promotion of rule of law, promotion of democracy. Those are the values. Those are the values. Promotion of governance with accountability, accountable governance. Those are the values. So whoever has been supporting me to see me also contributing at attaining those values, still you are worth it. Keep supporting me.
According to what you did, yes, you sat down, wrote the reasons, and I think you consulted part of the membership of the FDC. I think you wanted to be clear why you're leaving. Did you take time to consult your supporters and followers since you're saying you had to make everything democratic?
Yes, because I've reached out to a number of my supporters from the fraternity of voters and fraternity of the business class.
Okay.
There are those who support our struggles financially.
Yes.
For example, you have to move to Serena Gardens where we are.
Yes.
From all the way from Rubaga.
Yes.
Come for an interview with Wamala.
Yeah.
Then how do you reach there? You have to transport.
Yeah, I
and
understand.
in some cases, you find yourself not having money. So you just raise someone and you are like, I've received a call to Serena for an interview. Please, can you help? And you get financed. So such people, I consulted them. And most of them know about my reasons as to why I had to defect. Then amongst the population of voters, I couldn't reach out to each and everyone because you can't know about each and every your voter.
Yeah, you
we know about our voters by the numbers we have scored. That you can't know about each and every person who has voted for you. So I wouldn't have. There is no way I could have done it to every voter. Then there are those people with whom I've shared a front line in the struggles. You have always been seeing me when I'm in a community engagement and maybe it attracts arrests. You see people trying to cover me up, not to be arrested. Those who have been maybe supporting me, and of course when I've been arrested, say those who cater for my welfare, those who now come in as sureties to secure bond, police bond or police bail for me. I had to consult them, and they are much aware about the reasons as to why I had to quit. And they have supported me.
Okay.
A number of them, I moved with them to NUP.
Oh.
Yeah.
Okay.
In your read and in your coverage, you realize that I moved in with about 46 leaders, not supporters, leaders and activists. If I was given a chance that you mobilize your supporters and you join up with them, they had to maybe get a ground like Nambole.
Should we think that these problems you're alleging couldn't be solved internally, and how long have you been actually meeting the top leadership to at least have a meeting or something to make sure that these things are resolved? How long have you
are actually aware that I've been a member of National Executive Committee, NEC.
Yes.
And our NEC normally sits ever after a fortnight. So these issues, the issues that have forced me out, have not just maybe arisen in a 1 month or 2 months or a year. They have been piling. So we've always been utilizing the platform of NEC to address some issues. Some have been discussed but failed, not resolved. Others have been ignored totally. Yes, others have been ignored totally. And I felt like why continue in an environment where I'm not feeling myself well?
Okay.
And I had to move on.
I understand when General Mugisha Muntu was leaving, he mentioned some of the points why he's leaving the party, including, I don't know if there's the same reasons. I need to go thorough onto that. But I come to this point where you're leaving FDC, where there has been a lot of defections. Many people have crossed over. And
but the defections have been everywhere, not only FDC. People have defected from NRM to FDC. People have defected from NRM to NUP. I can give you examples. You go and check Dr. Kamala Nicholas, the MP for Kabale. He defected from NRM to FDC. Yeah. A number of veteran politicians we have been having in FDC defected from NRM and UPC. Then if you check with National Unity Platform, a number of people defected from NRM to National,
yeah.
to NUP.
From DP.
For example, you know, the MP in Kasanda, you know, an MP in Machindays, Nyeko Derek, who was NRM. Then the likes of Mwanga Chivumbi defected from DP to NUP. So defection or changing position from one political party to another is so normal in politics.
Okay, my question was, when General Mugisha Muntu was leaving, he said time is a factor and you will understand who the real moles are in the Forum for Democratic Change. Does that speak volumes to you at a moment where you leave FDC?
I don't think that there is any political formation here in Uganda which harbors no morals. Because, you know, a dictatorship of over 37 years has capability to plant people from each and every society that it wishes. In schools, I've been in different institutions of higher learning. For example, I attended Namaswa College of Commerce. It is where I obtained my diploma in business administration from. We had people whom we knew that they were not part of students, but they were there as just spies, more to monitor around, to know what is it that you are doing and how is it affecting the regime. And I also attended IUIU, Islamic University in Uganda, Chiburi campus. I can see people who are squeezing us from there are the same people squeezing us from outside. But by the time I was at IUIU, Siraje Bakareke was there, purporting to be a student. Saiga, Ibrahim Saiga, then Muhammad Biansi, those people were there.
So every political party in Uganda has.
If you visit Makerere University, you can find that almost 25% of the population at Makerere are state spies. People who are there attaining every year they are registering retakes and now coming back for another year. There are people who have been there for over 7 years just pursuing a degree which is for just 3 years. So everywhere you go are morals. Why is it done that way? You know, a dictatorship trusts nobody. Even in their offices, if you visit the Prime Minister's office and you speak to them, you whisper to them, they will tell you, we know that one is not...
So do you know part of the malls in FDC?
So,
by the time you leave FDC, do you know part of the malls in FDC?
I said, I will not discuss anything much about FDC.
But you know part of the malls in FDC?
I will not. Let FDC manage its home. Then I'm so much concerned about the new house that I've joined. Nope.
I understand still, my source tells me that before or during that time while you were still making up your mind to quit or to call it quits with the FDC, there was a call received by a one top leader in the National Unity Platform calling you after understanding that their leader or their member, Ewan Mukasalozias in Nuvaga South, has consistently failed on his duties to represent the people. It's one of those constituencies in Uganda where many electorates just ticked the umbrella. even though they don't understand that truly we are taking a leader or someone who's going to represent themselves. How true is it that you received a call from one of the top leaders, I won't mention on camera, of course, for anonymity, that yes, come in 2026, we can trust you with this flag. We can trust you with the umbrella.
If I received a call from any top leader persuading me to join NUP for the purpose of taking up its ticket to represent them in the constituency for an election of 2026, I can ably say I wouldn't have gotten an opportunity to join NUP. Because tell me, if we are waking up every morning ready to push the dictatorship, every morning we wake up ready, and whatever we are doing every day, every hour, every minute is in the interest of seeing this dictator packing and getting off from the leadership of the country called Uganda. There is no way you can now start persuading me, preparing myself for an election of 2020.
NUP feels disappointed in Lubaga South.
I don't know, and I don't want to indulge myself into such business, because my business for every day, for every minute, for every hour is to see Museveni off the leadership. Because look, check the problems that Museveni has brought to this country. When we are crying every day, our members, the members of National Unity Platform, being carried away by the drones. Even yesterday, Bobi Young was picked. Where is he? Do we know? Now you find people now preparing themselves for 2026, following and respecting the current of the dictator.
Mbwembo, some feel
I think it isn't wise enough.
Mbwembo, some feel that this was a strategic move for you to target or to achieve your dreams come 2026, to acquire that.
Let me ask you
dream
a question.
Of going to parliament.
You're a journalist.
Yes.
You've been following events happening
Yes.
all across the world. You remember Sudan?
Yes.
The president for the former Bashir,
Yeah, Omar
Bashir.
Yeah.
He had even undergone his political party process of being endorsed as a sole candidate
Yes.
for the next election. When people raised up and pushed him off, was that calendar followed? Did the elections happen the way he wished? Never. Get to our neighbors here, Congo. Joseph Kabila had even caused an amendment of the constitution, enlarging or enlarging the tenure of term for presidency from 5 years to 7 years, preparing for the next election. When people raised up, did it happen the way he wished? Go to Zimbabwe. Robert Mugabe was also enjoying and preparing the wife for as the next president of Zimbabwe. When people raised up and saw Mugabe off, did the calendar happen the way he wished? No. So my think, whoever is serious, meaning it that we are working to remove a dictator, and there is no such a time that is allocated for his removal, even today it can happen. When it was happening in Sudan, no signals showed. So I do believe we have capacity, if we are well organized, to see Museveni off the power before 2026. And therefore, I can't be amongst those people who are preparing myself for an election of 2026. I'm preparing myself to see Museveni off every day, every hour, every minute.
Where I disagree with you, a party where you went out now, the newest party, you were the new kid on the block in the NUP. There is no sign that they want to remove the dictator as they allege. Number one, Ugandans trusted them on the 14th of January 2021. Ugandans went to the poll, overwhelmingly voted the National Unity Platform in different positions. And fact be told, I'm a journalist, I authoritatively say there is no sign after these people going into the leadership. Number one, we saw it in Lubaga, where the leadership or the councillors, whatever, giving in to the national resistance movement, the speakership and whatever. Look at the parliament. Even today, the top leadership of National Unity Platform has consistently failed to make sure that the political prisoners leave prison or whatever. They have failed to, they have consistently failed. They have consistently failed to serve to the mandate of the Ugandans. So
leaders can err.
Is NUP
leaders can
is it
err.
really on
And on several times you've seen His Excellency Bobi Wine, Robert Kyagulanyi, in exchange with leaders within his party. Those who are in political elective positions, the MPs, the chairman for divisions, the councillors, they are always target for compromise. If you check today's parliament, that is plotting the censure of a minister, Namuganza.
Yes.
You will see it at the fullest capacity, which doesn't happen when there are debates to do with national issues, to do with national issues, to do with the national importance. But when it comes to deal with critiques of one Anita Among, I don't know how she does it, or she picks and call each and everyone herself. I don't know. You will see the parliament at its fullest capacity. You remember the time when they were censoring Honorable Francis Zake. Almost the whole house was at its full capacity, and including those in opposition, even those in NUP, voted for the censure of their own. You know, people in leadership are easily compromised.
Yes.
And if you talk to them, you inquire from them, they will tell you, you know, when we are seen like fighting her, she will deny us or some more privileges, travel opportunities, opportunity, the other.
I understand the deals.
Them forgetting that the population voted for them not to go and comply with the oppressors.
Are you happy with the NUP members in parliament, what they are doing? Are you really happy, Buembo? Are you really happy? The leader of opposition, the leader
so
of
much
opposition.
Disappointed.
Thank you so much.
So happy with some few, like Honorable Francis Zake. I think he has passed the test of the time. He has always been seen to be fighting against the oppressors, and that's why he's also seen to be fought day after the other. I think another one person now we can count is the Honorable Senyonyi. You know, when you see people being talked well about by the oppressors, know that maybe they are in the same bed with the oppressor. And those who are seen being oppressed by the oppressors are those who are now not aligning with the oppressors' deals. So Honorable Senyonyi, we can count on him also, because now we see the oppressor in the parliament, the agent of oppression, Anita Among, starting fighting him. And soon, I think you will see a committee being constituted to to move his change also.
Don't you think you've left hell and joining?
So there are those who are genuine. There are those who are totally
Honorable Buembo,
disappointment.
don't you think you've left fire and you're going into hell? Why? For on a number of occasions, I will still say it authoritatively that when the FDC held the office of the leader of opposition, fact be told, they performed. Honorable Winnie Kiza, many of them. If I start mentioning the names today, you'll be like, yes. Yes, we have Honorable Matthias Mpuga, a person who has been in the parliament for many years, but the performance, fact be told, I can't fail to say it, they have underperformed. That's a fact. So you've left fire, you're going to hell. This is one term NUP has held the mantle, but everyone is saying, no, this is not what we expected.
Let me tell you,
you've left FDC, but where you've gone, it's hell.
The yardstick to be used to test the performance of leaders, I don't know who holds it. We've seen the utterances from Anita Among saying Kosase leadership is the worst performing ever. Other than praying with the media, nothing they have done. But when Honorable Senyonyi, for example, was accounting about their performance, he was like, we are done with five virus in a 1 year. But Anita Among herself was once at the top of the leadership of Kasase for the last five years, or three years. What did she do? She completed only 9 files in a spell of three years. So if you had to compare performance, or if you had to judge who has done better, you'll find that the one of 5 files in 1 year has done better than the other of 9 in 3 years. So it will depend on who holds the measurement for performance. To me, I think they are trying and they are doing some wonders. Only that some have subjected themselves to the operation, to serve the operation. If they were working as a team, as it was used to be seen in FDC, because in FDC, remember, the leadership of opposition had command to all opposition members of parliament in the house. But today I think it is different. It is different. You can see it even when themselves are talking. Even the leader of opposition himself will say, the other is fighting me, so meaning that I'm also fighting him. That already reflects the divisionism within amongst them.
Don't you think that you made a mistake, a huge mistake?
I don't see any mistake, and every day I wake up ready to work for better. Mistakes, errors, weaknesses, it is our obligation to see how we correct them and we become better. If there are some weaknesses in the NUP, I would love to see more other experienced people joining to help correcting those mistakes. If there are some morals within NUP, I would much love to see genuine people joining to come and point at these morals and say the other is a more, and table down the evidence, prove that he is indeed a more, and then we correct we clean the house, Mr. and it's how we move forward.
Mr. Wemba, I don't know why I see you in 2025 going back home.
Where?
To FDC. After being frustrated, after the frustrations, after the disappointment, after everything, I see you before 2025 going back home. But that's not the issue. Tell me or talk to me why or what motivated you, what inspired you to go to NUP, a part where many people are saying it's a part of the indisciplined people using social media falsely to abuse, to vulgarize what they call or what you call the struggle. Many people actually trusted the leadership or trusted the umbrella that it's going to safeguard them from the rains, from the what, and today they are just safeguarding the rains for themselves, for their families. I'm still trying to get to comprehend why you seriously, what inspired you to go to NUP.
You see,
I'm not finding reasons to that
when
yet.
you are in an abnormal situation, you need not behave normally.
Okay.
When you are in an abnormal situation, you also live abnormally. So, how would you expect the people or members of NUP whose leaders are being incarcerated for how many so years?
Yes.
For example, those who are from the constituency where Segrinya represents, or those who are from a constituency where Segrinya represents, you want to see them singing songs that praises the dictatorship and its agents on a daily basis? Oh, you expect them to be seen uttering the vulgar words, the provocative words to the dictatorship and its agents. So, I don't see the indiscipline that you are talking about. I've also been accused on several accounts that how could Habib, a Muslim, not only just an ordinary Muslim, but a leader to the Muslim community, associate with the members of the Jobless Brotherhood,
yeah.
who use the symbolic approach of activism, where they are known to be throwing pigs to the corrupt officers of this regime. For example, you've seen pigs in 2014 entering parliament. That was after members of parliament passing to themselves buying monster cars of 200 plus millions, when so many Ugandans are not cannot able take their children to school. We were like, no, this can't just move on. Let us do something at least. The pigs were seen in the parliament, and debate were developed, and those MPs at least started coming out to the public to explain why they had to do so, and how they are planning also to deliver back to the taxpayers. So, if you expect people behaving normally in an abnormal situation, I think well, then we are missing it. Yeah.
Do you feel NUP is living up to the standard of, or to the expectations of Ugandans for the time they have been on the scene? Do you feel they are living up to the expectations?
You see, if the public says they are, because one, we witnessed NUP fronting a presidential candidate to the public, and the public open-handedly welcomed the candidate and worked for him and voted for him overwhelmingly. Besides the fact that his victory was cheated or stolen by the dictator. Then the MPs that who were voted for by the public on the ticket of NUP visibly tells that yeah, the public has that trust. Then expectations from the maybe deliverance of from these leaders that they voted for. Yes, a number of leaders have not met the expectations of people, but there are those so many who have also met the expectations of the people. So we can't blame the weaknesses of one lead on NUP ticket on the entire house of NUP.
You're talking about one leader. Let me tell you, mothers and fathers out there are still crying for their sons and daughters who were arrested during the campaigns, who were killed during the November, and everything, the embassy that happened. They expected, yes, we now have a leadership led by, in Parliament, for instance, led by Honorable Matthias Mpuga. We have a leadership of the party led by Honorable Robert Kyagulanyi Ssentamu. We have many leaders, because I can't say, yes, they try to do some grassroots work in Mbale, whatever, and everywhere. Up to now, fact be told, the incarceration of many members of the National Unity Platform, only what the leadership of the law actually does is to boycott, say this and this, but afterwards they go abroad, enjoy life, they do what?
You see, now,
The leadership has failed.
there are two
totally.
sides.
Buembo, leadership has
There are
failed.
two sides.
Yeah.
There is the side of oppressors and the side of the oppressed. And from the side of oppressed is where you are saying that a number of people have been arrested and incarcerated and tortured.
For a long period
So,
of time.
Do you think that now the population is shifting from the side of the oppressed to the oppressor who is arresting and torturing and murdering the people? Castigating the one who is now like keeping and holding the flag of hope for these oppressed people?
There is no flag of hope. No one holds the
No.
flag of hope here, Buembo.
Let me tell you, if you've not been following events, NUP has constituted a desk, a legal team desk, which has been monitoring, moving around, monitoring in all these detention centers, lawful and unlawful centers, and coming out with lists of those who in those facilities. That is how Parliament had to discuss the number of people, and maybe coming up with some statements. Let us respect the rule of law. If they have a case to answer, let them be paraded before the courts of law so that justice can be revealed. When it failed to yield results, fruitful results from within the country, they have moved the struggle outside the country. You've seen a team of victims of torture being paraded in Nairobi before the commissions, the international commissions of human rights. You've seen representations in the summits of UN and giving accounts of torture and oppressions.
So you feel they have done enough?
They have done, they have tried to their level best. What is still lacking isn't in their means. Because now it is like you want to see NUP bringing those detainees into courts, then NUP constitutes a judge to deliver justice to these people.
Let me take you for a short breather.
This is the struggle we
the
own.
party you left, FDC, if it meant for them to come onto streets demanding for the immediate release of their prisoners, of their supporters or what, they could do that. Let me come back shortly to understand thoroughly where Buembo Habib actually went. Is there hope? Is there anything or it's more of the same? Let me come after the break.
Uganda Eyenkya.
All right, we are back, ladies and gentlemen. Thanks for watching Uganda Eyenkya. Thanks for following. Thanks for subscribing. Keep following and advise or call all your members or friends and family to come and subscribe to this channel, because it is the only channel that will give you critical issues, balanced, accurate, and actually the things you have or you need to listen to for nation building. I'm still here with Buembo Habib, a new born baby, actually, a new signing of the National Unity Platform. Now, as we wind up, I want to put him to task to explain to me where he actually decided to go. He made up his mind to join the National Unity Platform. But in the FDC, yes, there seemed to be a semblance of something where you could understand that truly, yes, this is now the struggle. We're on the question of the political prisoners. We all know that all the times the FDC has had activities, for instance, the walk to work, or name them, yeah, the activities they have had in civil years. Whenever the members could be or could get arrested, you could find it very, very hard for those members to spend years in prison, just for some few instances. But here comes a party where he has joined, or the party has joined of recent. It has had their supporters, their members held in prison on trap charges for many years. Just finding someone selling a red belly, they are still in prison. someone for supporting, that's what they allege, for supporting Robert Kyagulanyi Ssentamu being in prison. Many young women and men, they're in prison for now 2019, 2020, 2021, 2022, 2023, still counting. They're in prison for what many believe it is one of the weakest opposition party we have ever had that can't even rescue their members. Honorable Wembo,
Yes.
let me put you to task to this. Fact be told, I don't know how many you will inform me because you've been a member of the FDC and I know you still have those facts. I don't know how many members or supporters of the FDC are still in jail over walk to work. Let's start from there. Do you have the records? I know you can set the record straight. How many members of the FDC are still in jail over the activities used to do my land, my what, all those campaigns? There was the article, whatever, that was
3 of the Constitution.
Yes, that was launched at Katonga, to Irwaneko. How many are in jail? Still asking those questions, those tough questions. I think you have the records up to now. You've been a neck
There is
member.
no prisoner, an activist still in detention over walk to work. I think the last people, maybe those who have been in prison for so long, or they have recently exonerated and released. That is the comrade Sam Mugumya.
Sam Mugumya, yes.
The PA to Dr. Besigye. You remember that guy who used to be the flanks of Dr. Besigye whenever he's on walk to work. He was released this year, and unfortunately, different from most of us who have been in detention, Sam Mugumya was detained from abroad, from the
Uganda.
foreign prisons outside the Uganda in Congo. That's where he was detained from, and the Congo, as the Congolese government has always been ready to release him, but he did been denied by our own government. You remember when the citizens successfully pushed off Joseph Kabila, and there was that now new leadership. The new leadership of Tshisekedi vowed to free all political prisoners. Among us was Comrade Sam Mugumya, and Tshisekedi was denied by the Museveni of this country. That no, I don't need that one. We don't need him. He also pardoned those political prisoners who were detained from Uganda. You remember the M23 guys who were let free from here. There was that exchange of political prisoners, but on condition set by Museveni that we are not interested in Sam Mugumya. We are not ready to receive him back home. Another guy who has been in prison for some time is called Kamswaga Moses, my comrade. He was arrested during the time of walk to work, but he's slapped with some serious charges and later convicted. But he has served his sentence of 10 years and he is also a free man. I don't know any other who is still in detention.
What does that speak to you after joining the National Unity Platform, where many are still? I've heard, by the way, that there are those who have lost their lives while in jail. I've had families, I've had interviews with families, still mothers and fathers are still crying out to their to the leadership of NUP and the government to release their sons. Can you imagine 3 years now? They have not. If FDC,
the people I've mentioned have been in detention for over 10 years.
Yes, few of
NUP
them.
has just existed for less than 5 years.
But they have many.
They have
hundreds
so
and hundreds
many hundreds and hundreds
in prison.
of people in prison.
And some
Let
have
me
died.
tell you one thing. The longer the dictatorship stays, the more it becomes aggressive, even to its own people. You've seen where NRM leaders are also crying of oppression For example, the former mayor of Kamwenje, we saw him when he was picked and detained from Narufenya, where he was seriously tortured.
Yeah.
The knees were smashed, and later subsequently he lost the life. He's dead. We are talking about a dead person who was a supporter and a leader in the ruling party. But why? Because maybe he criticized at some point that here we are not going right. He had to be tortured. So the longer the dictatorship stays, the more aggressive it becomes. So let me tell you one thing. There are so many people in prison, not only politicians. I've been in prison the previous year for 104 years, consecutively 104 years. I shared with a number of prisoners, inmates. The most inmates in Ruzira, for example, are these hawkers, the Batembe hawkers. Those hawkers. By then, when I was there, there were so many on a daily basis. They could bring 70, 80, 90. What are the charges? Because hawking is not illegal in Uganda. The constitution provides for hawking. A full article of the constitution clears hawking as one of the employment that people can enjoy. But I can tell you, there are so many there. I don't know how it is now. Then another group that had so many inmates was fishery. People, those fishermen. There were so many on a daily basis. They could bring 35, 20, 60, and in every ward I visited, I could find people.
Honorable, don't you think you've
from
just justified the weakness of NUP after saying that the FDC?
No. I'm showing you the aggression, the growth of the aggression by the dictatorship. It does not only affect politicians, but affects everyone. Everyone.
Do you think the leadership and NUP has really done enough to make sure that justice is served, or they push the dictator to the wall?
The leadership of NUP came in with a different style of praying, different from that we are familiar to.
Do you think it works?
It has mastered so much on the exposing the oppression, the violation, the torture of the dictatorship to the international world.
Do you feel it works?
It might have not delivered fruits, but who knows? As time goes by, it may yield. Then the NUP leadership is also considering the style of FDs that he used to work for it, which is the civil disobedience, assertiveness, and confrontation. That's why you have seen it now joining hands with the different leaders from different political parties and the different groupings of revolutionaries. That is under the United Force of Change.
Yes.
So that gives hope. If you see Dr. Besigye, the person I most respect, the person who has mentored Habib and most of the opposition people, most of the activists, you've seen him now on the same table with His Excellency Bobi Wine. All that to do what? To find means of how to rescue and liberate the rights and freedoms of Ugandans.
What comes to your mind when, as we wind up, when many say that Wembo joined another branch of the national resistance movement?
I've not understood the question.
Many are saying on social media is a watch that you joined another branch of the national resistance
Which is the branch?
That is NUP.
But the same has always been said about Dr. Besigye and the FDC. Has that deterred me in any way, or has it in any way affected my assertiveness against the rotten regime? So let me tell you one thing. Every dictator world over rules its people using 4 pillars. One of them is creation of fear. The arrests, the tortures that we are talking about are aiming at instilling fear in the population of the country Uganda. Wherever we have elections, you've seen how they deploy the army everywhere and in all corners of the country. How they cause arbitrary arrests, all aiming at creation of fear.
Yeah.
Then number 2, use of money. To do what? Buying from the people that are criticizing now to the other side. Those buyings do weaken the side where they have bought from.
The transactional
For example,
politics,
tell me how many people were like brought down by the crossing of Oweekitiibwa Ssebugwawo. Who expected such a person at her age with with her political background, a person from from a respected family,
yes,
a person who had served in the offices of the Kabaka. Very few could expect such a person to cross, but they use the money to persuade her, and eventually she does. So they use money. They have bought people like Bet Kamya, the likes of Anita Among, for example.
Yes.
She was once FDC, her deputy Tayebwa, and so many others. So the use of money is used by dictatorship to entrench, to extend its leadership on the people. They don't only use money to politicians, but also to people from different other fraternities, the religious leaders, the cultural leaders, everywhere. Now, the third one is control of information. How many times have you seen them failing us from talking to the people? All that is done aiming at controlling information. The introduction of silly laws that are aiming at controlling information. For example, the Public Order Management Act, where it stated that whenever you are to discuss about politics, when you are in a number of more than 3, you must seek for permission from the IGP. The question is, how many IGPs do we have in the country? 1. Seated where? Kampala and Aguru. So, even someone from Kasese, say if he is to hold a debate about politics, he has to drive, come to Naguru and seek for permission from the IGP. So, eventually, what does that do? Fading that sharing of information. You know, the introduction of acts like that which brought in OTT introduction, the Computer Misuse Act, all those are aiming at controlling what? Information. How many times have you seen politicians being failed from speaking from different media houses? Others have been picked from the media houses themselves. So all that aiming at controlling information. Why controlling information? The more you control information, you control the spread of knowledge. The more you control the spread of knowledge, you instill ignorance. And the ignorant people are easily led.
For the times.
Then the last one is propaganding aiming at divide and rule. The so talks. The other NUP is a branch of NRM. So the FDCs should not trust the NUP. That only divides, it creates a gap between NUP and the FDC. So what happens to the NUP, the FDCs will not mind much. After all, they are the same. So the next day, they will say FDC is the same as NRM. You recall at that time when they used to say Besigye is the same as Museveni. Besigye 0 is to extend, Museveni is what? Leadership. Besigye used to ask a question, what is it that I do that helps Museveni to stay in power?
It's just
what is it that you wish me doing that I have not done so that I can do it? Tell me.
It's just playing political games showing or painting a picture that you're doing something when you literally know in your minds that you're fooling people. That's what the opposition in Uganda is doing.
No, you see.
Show the audience that you're trying to do something, but at the back of your mind.
Yes, hope that maybe the opposition or the person you are talking about has not done enough. What is it that you are doing yourself? Because the way people talk, they as if they love to see change more than those who are acting to cause the change. So, where is it written that it is Habib, it is Bobi Wine, it is Besigye, it is the other to cause change, not you?
I remember,
so if you don't believe in their method, you apply the method you believe in.
I've seen political activists being in jail for for some good time. They come back with new cars. I've seen politicians in Uganda who say that they are part of the opposition, making sure that the dictator goes, having armored cars enter into the country, and they are now being, of course, excused or pardoned by the president for whatever reasons. I've seen politicians alleging to be on the opposition side, aligning or agreeing or sitting down with the one you call the oppressor, deciding for this country. I've seen politicians in Uganda as well, pretending to be from the on the opposition side, seriously fighting for themselves, not thinking about this country. So there is nothing new talking about Honorable Wembo. Many politicians on the opposition, I can honestly say that they are all acting under pretense in the guise of opposing this regime, when we know that truly they are not.
When I said one pillar the dictator used to extend its leadership on people is the controlling information. Controlling information aiming at controlling knowledge, there are instilling ignorance. People think that to confront dictatorship or to be called a fighter, you must be like poor, you must not possess anything, you must be... Let me tell you one thing.
How many cars have you bought after coming out of jail?
Let me tell you one thing.
No, how many cars have you bought?
I haven't bought any car. I've never owned any car in my life.
What comes to your mind when you see a political leader coming out of Luzira with a new...
I've not seen any person coming out of Luzira with a new vehicle.
Oh.
But in some cases, there are those machineries that portrays that picture, also to aiming at despising this, weakening the side of the fighters. You remember the time when Dr. Besigye was arrested, that was 2016, charged with treason because of swearing himself in as a president of the country, as a victor of that election. When he was brought to court and given a bail, Honorable Francis Muzika was there, was part of the team, brought in a V8, his V8, and it is the V8 that drove Dr. Besigye back to his home. The next day, the allegations were Besigye has been in prison for all that long, earning, and immediately as he was released, he was offered a new V8. So this is how the so-called fighters earn from the session.
Mr. Wemba, as we wind
now,
up,
as a person, as me who was there, who knew the truth, cannot be dragged again into a debate where I can believe that now another prisoner, when he was released, he was given what? A vehicle.
Don't you think
myself, I've been in prison severally.
And you've not come back with a new car.
I don't know even the number of times I've been in prison. I've never received even transport from anybody. That as you are going back home, you border tells it rides you back home. So if I've not received it myself, how do I now pay witness that someone else has received it?
It's so
So
sad that our time
I find it as a propaganda aiming at causing divisions.
Our time is fast spent. I'm so sorry about that. But don't you think Uganda has been a playground of selfish, greedy, and okay, all those names? Uganda has been a field or a playground to those people for a long period of time, and we must blame ourselves for, seriously, the politicians fooling Ugandans. I know you've been in the struggle, in quotes, for many years. I don't know what you've revealed so far, your revelations, part of the opposition, being part of the opposition. I don't know what you've revealed.
In all spheres of life, there are people who are greedy, there are people who are pretenders, there are masqueraders, and there are people who are genuine. You check around our churches, and there are masqueraders, and there are people who are pretenders, and there are people who are freeing people, and there are genuine people who are serving God. So, should we call people not to go to churches, not to go to mosques because there are some masqueraders? No, we have to fight hard to make sure that we clean that sphere and we remove the masqueraders, the confusers, and we keep all the cause going on. Even in politics, there are greedy people, I agree. There are masqueraders, I agree. There are pretenders, I agree. But that shouldn't deter us from the struggle and say, after all, there are masqueraders. We must work hard to remove or reduce the pretenders and increase the genuine people and keep the cause on.
Are you aware that many have sacrificed their life for this country? Many people have lost their lives under the name of a struggle. But these people, the so-called politicians, they step onto this blood. They use their bloody cups to go to parliament, to go to whatever position, for them to enjoy their lavish lives and whatever. What do you have to say about those people who just enjoy? Because I know you have seen you for many years and I've followed you for many years. I can authoritatively say that, yes, I can give you my back. I'm like, yeah, I understand, I've followed him, I've covered him for many years. But in this country, politicians have really
Let me tell you one thing.
Everything under
Even if you
struggle.
read from the successful revolutions and struggles, for example, the one of Thomas Sankara of Equatorial Guinea, he is undisputed revolutionarist. Is one most respected young revolutionaries in Africa. But around him were such people, the greedy ones, the masqueraders. One of his own, the great friend who knew most of his secrets, Akampore, the former president of Burkina Faso. He's the one who was used to murder that great revolutionaries. So, in life, there is no way you can avoid those people, the masqueraders. You believe in Jesus.
Yeah.
Jesus himself. Go and read the scripts. Go read the books. Around him were the masqueraders, were the traitors. Should we say that Christianity now should be abandoned or abolished because in the books we find some masqueraders? They might believe in Muhammad sallallahu alaihi wasallam. Around him were masqueraders, were traitors. At one time, they were going for a battle, and some of the companions started now okay, I won't go much into the religious thing, but in every sphere of life, there are confused people, there are pretenders, there are masqueraders. Everywhere you will go. But that doesn't deny the fact that there are genuine people. And that doesn't deny the fact that there is a cause to fight for. Let us keep fighting as we are screening out who the genuine ones are and who are the confused ones are. And we keep on moving.
Do you see the National Unity Platform delivering the change Ugandans have always yearned all longed to have? Do you see that glory? Do you see that victory coming to pass through?
I want to
NUP.
extend my thanks to Commander Fred Nyanzi, who is heading the campaign known as Kunga Uganda. That campaign is aiming at mobilizing the masses, equipping them with the knowledge. The day Ugandans will acquire the knowledge that is needed to cause the change, it is the day when we shall attain that glory change you are talking about. The day we shall remain with few genuine leaders who are singing change, 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 when the preparation is not connected to the song, we forget about the change we want.
Then you
so it is a duty upon me and you and the other and the other and the other to keep informing Ugandans that we need a change. And how we can abrogate the change is by all of us joining the cause of causing that change.
Mr. Wembo, the NUP you joined, it is a wedding party in quotes. Party after party, wedding per wedding, mansion per mansion. Many are lavishing on loans, enjoying trips per trip, enjoying everything. What change do you bring to the NUP amidst all that lavish life? They are happy, they are celebrating. Every time you hear, yeah, another... I'm saying it's not bad to propose or whatever, but these people said we are removing a dictator, Uganda is not safe, all sorts of words saying how Uganda is unsafe for everything, but they have built mansions. I know a member of parliament, actually members of parliament, 4 of them, of which they have bought schools, even of recent last week, some of them bought schools and some of them have built mansions in just a space of 2 years like this. Do you believe you're going to change something, or you bring something that will truly bring the change Ugandans really yearn for?
As a person, I do believe in marriage.
Okay.
And I'm a married person.
Okay.
So different from so many those who don't believe in polygamous marriage. I have 2 wives.
Okay.
So lovely wives. And I am so happy and thankful to those 2 wives of mine, because they have kept me with a smile all the time. Even at a time when all other people have left me, they have kept around me and they kept me strong. So when I see someone marrying, I get happy with him. I get happy with him.
When he says Uganda is unsafe.
If people are wedding, I see no problem, as long as after wedding you come back to the front line and we keep pushing.
Okay.
Others are denied the right to associate with the public, and we are also denied a right to associate with loved ones. Then it would be bad. I pray that right at least it remains, and we fight for it, and we also fight to break the chains that are still tying us in all other.
The irony here, funny of all, the irony here, Uganda is unsafe. When you have a gathering, you have to sensitize people or teach them about your values or the political whatever, the grassroots, you're not allowed. But when politicians come at Kampala Serena Hotel, many of them, they throng Kampala Serena Hotel. For that, they are allowed. What a level of hypocrisy, what a dishonesty. That was the pretense and foolery I was talking about. Uganda is unsafe, but they turn up at Kampala Serena Hotel.
The unsafety of Uganda is undoubted. At least even people who are not living in Uganda, they can able tell that Uganda is not safe. But there are areas where dictatorship doesn't feel threatened. For example, time is gone when musicians had the freedom to stage a music show wherever, even if it could be a roundabout in the station of roads, they could allow them. until when musicians now woke up and started passing the message of revolution through music. That's when the dictator felt threatened and started regulating the music now. If space is still in the weddings parties, we can still use that path to reach the message of revolution to people. We've been using funeral functions still to reach the message. My prayer is one, that whoever has such a function, let it open for the message of change, so that the people who have come to enjoy the meat and the rice go back home when they have the message.
When, as we wind up, I still have to ask this. What new thing do you have to, are you ready to introduce or lay on table for the National Unity Platform to see it triumphing, to see it succeeding and enrich her goals, or making sure that they achieve, or we achieve, the Uganda we long to see or we yearn to see? What new thing do you have to introduce to NUP?
Bwemba Habib has attained an experience in this fight, in the struggle we are in. I would want to be given a platform where I can share the experience that I've attained with the fellow comrades, the other side, or this side where I've joined. Then another thing, you know Habib as an assertive man.
Yes.
If I'm allowed space to exercise my assertiveness, then some other members can borrow from me and we keep on moving. For example, you see in FDC, most of us, all of us almost activists who have been assertive, we borrowed from one person, Dr. Besigye. And Dr. Besigye has always kept us with the hope that it is possible. And a time was there when almost every leader of FDC was assertive. And they used to call us radicals when we were all radicals. So I do believe that getting close to a number of members in National Unity Platform can also bring in that element of confrontationness that you've been saying that is lacking.
Okay.
Yeah, if I'm given a space, I'm ready to exercise. Yeah.
Are you still thinking of, are you still vying for Lubaga South membership or being an MP of, or a member of Parliament? If
we cause the regime change today, I don't think that there is anyone who could be yearning to go to contest and do what. I do believe we can serve from wherever we are deployed. If we cause a regime change, for example, and I'm called for a ministerial position,
are we seeing you?
Then will you still be like Habib is not serving because he's not in Parliament? I'll be there as an ex-official.
Are we seeing you in 2026 unseating your fellow NUP member?
Why 2026? We are causing a change tomorrow.
Tomorrow?
Then why do you have to take?
You've already said that while in FDC that we are causing.
Yes, yes. Let me tell you one thing. The struggle to cause a liberation or to cause a regime change is similar like the struggle of fighting poverty. All of us wake up every morning going to our workplaces to fight against poverty. We want to become rich. But when you fail to get the riches today, it doesn't mean that tomorrow you don't wake up early. If you fail the next day, it doesn't mean that the next week you say, I failed and I will not continue.
Have you been,
so every day I wake up ready to cause a regime change.
Have you been,
if I fail today, the next day I get prepared. And
I understand.
That is how life goes on.
I understand you're a resident of Lubaga South. Have you been represented or misrepresented?
I do believe all MPs in today's parliament are in captivity. Those who have tried to represent their constituents are also they are receiving their for example, if you check with a person like Honorable Francis Zake, what is going around him, if you can stand for it.
Who has held them captive? Or
the speaker, I know, the mafiaism within the person of Anita Among, the incompetency within that person called Anita Among, the ravishness within that person called Anita Among cannot let any other person shine in that house.
so we should blame it.
Neither should it be even her deputy.
You mean we shouldn't blame the weaknesses of the weaknesses onto the
we should blame them because they have subjected themselves to her captivity.
Okay.
Until when they say no more captivity within the house. You are not the parliament. Parliament is me and you and the other.
Yes.
I mean representatives.
Yeah.
As long as they are still dancing on the tone of the person of Anita Among, they are all perishing. Tell me, it started with Honorable Zake. We are censuring him. He has diminished the person of the speaker. Yeah, they were like, Zake is arrogant. Zake is indisciplined. Zake is big-headed. They censured him. Though illegally, because there is still a contestation in courts.
Yeah.
Then the next day, it was Zaka again. Another day, it was Namuganza. Another day, now Senyonyi is on the ladder. Another day, you will find, you get in a situation where all of you are called for a censure. You see, Anita Among is from which district?
Is it
Bukedia. She is representing Bukedia. Bukedia is in eastern Uganda, and people from that district are all of our color, black, black as ziggy. Look at her. Look at her. Someone who can fight to change the nature that God created me black, and I want to be white. And go shopping, every Russian, every breaching agent to make sure that she fights with nature can never be such an easy person. So a day will come when she will move a motion that all of us have to look the same. I don't know how many will be able to do so. That is the day when she will call for censure for everyone.
So the moment, so we shouldn't go far. We shouldn't blame the members of or whatever. The first person to look to point.
No, you follow the businesses within the House, Parliament. When she has a personal issue to pursue, it is full capacity raise. You remember the time when she was pursuing for the speakership of the House? Almost everyone was, she had even to break the rules to do with COVID-19. And she brought all people under the same tent. Today, the other day when she was now pursuing for the censuring of Honorable Zake, everyone was on board. Check what is happening today with Namuganza's censure. All of them are there. How comes that when there are more serious issues, they are not turning up? Even herself, she's always away. She's always away. But when there is a niche person to pursue, everyone is there. So I feel like Parliament is under captive, but that captivity also will cause conflict between her and her boss.
Okay.
Yes, because Museveni cannot also allow one person to to have that strong bond with the institution that he want to captivate. You know, Museveni holds captivity all institutions in captive, and therefore cannot allow one person to pay captive on one of the institutions.
I think we
so. This is Namuganza censure. I can see it aiming at also lowering at the wings. This lady is trying to grow.
I think we shall stop it at that. Oh my God. Buwembo Habib, a former, of course, now we call him former ex NEC member of the FDC.
Why do you wish to address me as the former when I have a current house? You call me Buwembo Habib, a member of National Unity Platform. Do you still need to tag me with the...
So are you denying FDC?
No, not denying. But now
you're a former,
it is like a former wife to someone who has now, like in the case of Anita Mong, she was formerly a wife to one who I'm forgetting even the name, Atanyi something, someone from Hoima. Then now she arranges to be married to Moses Magogo. Do you still now need to address how is the former husband, then later bring the current one?
You know, in this job, I need to describe, I need to give people that description that befits you. So, Habib Buwembo, today I've hosted Habib Buwembo,
a member of National Unity Platform.
And a former NEC member of Forum for Democratic.
I've had some people trying to play some jokes around me that someone has been praying from a national level as a national secretary forever. Now he's being recruited as a foot soldier. Yeah, I'm a foot soldier in NUP, and I'm a proud foot soldier and ready to be deployed wherever.
Let's hope, or let's look forward to seeing a new mansion in town since he has joined. Are we yet to see another wedding from you, or because this is many...
You've said the show has ended. Now you are starting it again.
Uganda Eyenkya.